You saw in the last movie that the static content of a SPARKLab can be made to look more professional by creating it in a presentation application like PowerPoint. In this final movie of the series, I'd like to show you how SPARKVue can import the background slides of static content created in PowerPoint and add to it the interactive content needed to complete the lab. I'll begin as before by launching SPARKVue and connecting the appropriate sensor. Continuing on the build path, let's take a look at the special feature of SPARKVue that allows us to import the background images. Below the preview window, you'll see this Import Background Image button. Now I should note, this button is only available in SPARKVue and not on the SPARK Science Learning System device, so you will need SPARKVue to use this enhanced authoring technique. So, for page number 1, I'm going to import slide number 1 from PowerPoint. And you can see that the preview window gives us an image of this background. So on this page, it's all static content. That is, it all comes over from PowerPoint. So all I need to do on this page is to add a foreground element, which would allow me to see through to the background. Now that foreground element is the spacer icon. And in this case, I'm going to choose a large spacer, which looks like this window. That will allow us to see through to the background content when I choose OK to build the page. And page 1 is complete. On to page 2, I'll import the background image, slide number 2. And on this page, I'd like a spacer icon to see through to the static background content on the top half. So I'll choose a large spacer, followed by a large text entry box. Pressing OK, I merely need to add the leading text. And page 2 is complete. On to page 3, importing slide number 3 for the background. And on this page, I'd like to have the 2 displays and a spacer that allows me to see through to this background content of instructions. So I'll begin with a graph of temperature versus time, followed by a small spacer that will allow me to see through to the background content, and finally, a digits display of temperature. That looks good. And onto the conclusion page, importing a background, slide number 4. And once again on this page, I'll begin with a large spacer element to see through to the background, followed by a text entry box. And we can wrap it up with just a little bit of leading text. So, reviewing these pages, looks pretty good. And I'm going to save this file. So I'll go to the sharing screen, save file as, and I'll save it with the word enhanced. Now, of course, before I actually distribute this lab, I'd want to test its functionality as I did with the basic version. But presuming it's okay, it would be ready to distribute. In this series of movies, you've seen the 2 techniques for authoring SPARKLabs. In the basic approach, you can use just SPARKVue or just the SPARK Science Learning System device to fairly quickly create functional but perhaps basic-looking SPARKLabs. If you want your SPARKLabs to look a little bit more professional, you can begin by creating the static content in presentation applications like PowerPoint or Keynote. Those background images of static content can be brought into SPARKVue, where we can add the interactive content and finalize our more professional-looking SPARKLab. I hope you've been inspired to create your own SPARKLabs. To get you started, please visit PASCO.com and download the SPARKLab authoring kit. We look forward to seeing what you create. Thanks for watching.